Welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. My name is Lima Temi, and we're back talking about music, fitness, life, everything, because that's all a guy can think about. Also, I've been thinking about making a meal in a week. People can actually make a meal in a week. Appreciate you for checking into the episodes. Before we tap in, I just want to say make sure you like, subscribe, stay tuned to the podcast. I'm thankful for every single person that's tapped in. It's not easy doing this week in, week out, but we still keep going, and I'm thankful for every single person that's tapped in. And I know I say it every episode, but it genuinely does mean a lot to me because, sheesh, this started from an idea of just wanting to make our own podcast. You know, we love talking about music, so why not make some long form content? And yeah, why not do it? Why not do it from our home? Started off in our car, and our car is, we don't have a car no more. And I was starting from the bottom, and it's a humbling feeling, very humbling, but you know, just give it some time. We'll figure something out. We will figure something out. Nothing is ever too impossible for us, so we just gotta keep going, keep learning, and keep growing because that's all we can do, no matter how difficult things get. And that will be my word of encouragement for anyone who's going through anything. Just keep going because it is difficult, but a way will always be found. I think that's what makes things even better. Going through the struggle, then when you find that little delayed gratification that makes you think, okay, this is it. Because if not that, then what else is there to do? You know, I can't lie to you, these past few days have been quite challenging. They've been challenging. It's like I'm living separate lives, working, and then coming into just creating. And recently, my creative mind has been a bit blank to the point that I don't want to be doing the same thing that I always do. And things are changing to the point that when I'm doing the same thing, it's not always working. So it makes me think, okay, what are we going to do now? And yeah, it really makes you realize that you have to adapt into something new. And I've been stuck in that limbo every single day, every single day. But we just gotta keep going. We just gotta get it every single day, man. And as long as you have that idea in mind, just put it into action because it will work. If not something, it will be put into something. And also, one thing that I've always been thinking about, one thing that I hate, one thing that I dislike is when you have an idea and you don't put it into action or when you don't do anything about it. And I can't lie, I'm guilty of it because I do have these visions and these ideas that just don't happen. But when you have an idea, when something pops up into your mind, that is a gift and you're meant to put that into action because if it doesn't happen to you, then it will happen to someone else who is willing to do that, someone who's hungrier or something that is just willing to do it. It's all about that willpower. You know, we all have that choice of what we want to do. If you want to just do nothing or if you want to go and get it or if you want to put that idea into action. And it's whether you do it or you don't. And when you see someone else do it, you'll be thinking, damn, if only we did that. Because if only we did that. There's so many things that we've all probably thought about doing, and then we see someone doing it and it's done well. And not even if it's just done well, but they've done it and it's like, damn, we wish we did that. You know, it's a learning curve and it's humbling for you to actually put it into action. But at the same time, I'm just thinking if it doesn't actually happen, then surely that should be okay. Because if it's meant to be, then it will happen. No sweat, no thought, just it would be done. With social media, we have this pressure sometimes that, yo, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, philosophy that, philosophy this. There's so much philosophy, and although all that stuff is good, I really do feel like the best way is to use it in your own analogy, in your own, I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but in your own way. I'm just a 23-year-old learning through life, bro. But honestly, I do feel like sometimes if it's meant to be, it will actually happen. And sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it just isn't. And that's life. What I want to talk about is melodic music. And it may be for the remainder of this episode. Because melodic music is just something. Melodic music, bro. Like, something that just sounds good. Something that just sounds smooth. Like butter. No, not too many layers. Not too much to it. It just sounds really good. And hence why my favorite type of music always has a melodic feel. I love rap, but I don't like too much of that rappy stuff. I like that melodic, smooth sounding. Sometimes it doesn't even matter about the lyrics. It just has to sound good. That production, that beat, if it has good piano chords, I'm a fiend for it. For example, artists like Drake. He's always got a good melodic sound. He's a good artist. He's my favorite artist, of course. And then you have Travis. You know, them two, no wonder they work well together because they just work, they just make sense, and it doesn't miss. And I've always appreciated their music because it's something that's different. Well, especially Travis's music, low key, it's always been a bit off the rails. That it's not what you typically expect, and I love that with Travis's music, every album sounds completely different to what it actually is. However, it is starting to get a bit too similar, and the OG Travis fans from like Rodeo days are thinking, what is this music? For example, Jack Boys 2. I wasn't really a fan of that tape, and there's only a couple songs that I like. Dumbo, Kick Out, MM3, PBT, Florida Flow, The Wizard. Like, those are the only songs that I really like, and really maybe a stretch, but those are the only songs that I appreciate. The other ones, they're a bit of a miss to me. And anyway, that's something else. But melodic music is something that's always gonna sound good. For example, artists like John Legend, Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson. Bro, I was listening to Michael Jackson's music the other day, and he has a song called Baby Be Mine. And one thing about Michael Jackson, the amount of care he puts into the layering in his songs, like the little layers on top of his voice when he's singing in that same voice tone. He knows what he's doing, and it sounds good every time. Like, I may have to put that song. I don't know what he was on. I don't know what Broski was on, but he was not on a sober substance. He must have been on something, because for you to actually think about that and to actually execute it and to get it done, like, bro, he's actually the GOAT when it comes to that. And yeah, his melodic sound is always going to sound good. And you've also got more artists, for example, Olivia Dean. Wow, Olivia Dean, bro. Her music, I've actually always been a fan of her music, and I'll forever boast that. Her music has always been top tier, especially from her album Messy. Especially from her album Messy. She's always been in the bag. And the fact that she's had her rise that she's on now, she deserves it. I do feel like the best song, in my opinion, is Close Up or A Couple Minutes. Those two songs, and Lady Lady, those three songs there, fire. However, obviously you got the songs like Man I Need, Nice to Each Other, So Easy. Like, those songs there, really good. But the other ones, bro, they're just phenomenal. You just can't forget them ones that I can't not have them in my top roster. Like, they're top tier, very good. And you also have, bro, Sam Fender is a good melodic artist. Even though he does indie music, bro, his melodies, they just always sound good. And the production, the guitars, the drums, the band that he rolls with, they're just fire. And you also have artists like Miggy. I'm always going to talk about Miggy. His music is just beautiful. I was listening to his song Riley and I, and like, even though it's not really saying much, he's just saying something. He's saying something like that melody, that guitar is just saying something. That piano is just saying something. Because, bro, man, you wanna take it up, baby, look at it, man. Alright, talking shit, man. But honestly, there's just something about melodic music that I just really love about. And I've always had that love for melodic music since growing up. I generally do think it's because of my mom. You know, growing up, she'd always play some smooth melodic music, and she'd just always play it around the house. For example, like Neo or Michael Jackson, John Legend. That was like her favorite artist. Coldplay, and our native language music. It's very melodic. So just growing up hearing that, I was like, maybe this does sound good. Even though I wasn't always around that rap music, I always had appreciation to it. And I'd always listen to like a Tiny Temper, Dizzy Rascal, but I wasn't that keen on N-Dubs at that time. Drake, Chris Brown was like my favorite. Big Sean as well. Like, those type of artists there. Who else? Chipmunk, low-key. It was very UK. It was very UK at one point growing up anyway. will.i.am. Oh my gosh, will.i.am. Because, bro, Black Eyed Peas were like my favorite. And I'd always listen to Black Eyed Peas. And especially will.i.am when it made that Willpower album. And growing up now, calling your album Willpower when your name is Will or Willie, if that's not his name, then it's tough. But like, calling your album Willpower when your stage name is will.i.am, like, you know what you're doing. Or I hope his name is Will. His name is William Adams. Oh shit, he's the same age as Mumsy. Shout out to William Adams. Broski cooked with that. Broski cooked with that. But yeah, his music's always been fire, and I've always appreciated his music, and especially like the whole Black Eyed Peas. Like I'd always listen to them. They were like my version of Outcast. Like everyone has their favorite bands and stuff, or like in the rap genre, but mine was always Black Eyed Peas. As set apart as it is, Black Eyed Peas were just something. Of course, you got their popular songs, and I wasn't really too keen on their popular ones. I always loved their underrated ones, but Black Eyed Peas were always my favorite. And then as you get older, you just turns into nostalgia, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug, bro. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Sometimes I'd just be reminiscing about just things in the past, or like just songs and artists. Like I was coming back from gym today, and I was just thinking about Sicko Mode, very random, but I was just listening. I was just singing a song in my head, and I was deeper. Like that song is actually a like once in a lifetime song. I don't think we'll ever get a song like that anymore, because that song was actually fire. Like I think you have to realize how good that song actually was, and it still is a good song. From Drake's start, and then Travis's entrance, and then Drake's entrance again, and then when they're going back and forth, bro, it's just little things like that that just make it top tier. Like Travis's second verse on the third beat was so good that I was thinking, did he even write that part? Because I don't think he did. Because have you seen the amount of credits on that song? The amount of credits on Sicko Mode is insane. But yeah, even though it's like very overplayed, it's still a good song that you can't not like. You know what I mean? It's one of them songs that in 10 years' time, it's still going to be a top tier song that you be thinking, damn, that was really 2018. Because 2018 was actually a sick time for music, which is like crazy. But yeah, nostalgia, man, it carries. It actually carries, because music holds a lot of weight, especially when you're thinking on the age you were when a song was out, when you was listening to a song, the people you was around during that moment, where you was at. Like sometimes I can genuinely remember where I was when I was listening to a certain song for the first time, or when I was just addicted to listening to a song. Like I remember where I was. That's why I probably love McGee's music so much, because I started listening to McGee's music around December this time. I know around December last year, and then went to America, and it is literally my soundtrack. And I say this every episode, but there's just something about that album, Two Star and Dream Police, that you have to tap into. That if you go traveling, listen to that album, and as well as Olivia Dean's album, The Art of Loving. It's gonna 100% remind me of being in Africa, and Palace. Like their albums there, fire. Like their album Life After and So Long Forever, it just makes sense, bro, that you just can't not like it. And if you don't, then it's a stinky L from you, bro. But yeah, nah, it's sick to tap into different artists and to just get into different things. And that's a very different topic to what I'm on about. This year has been a crazy run in terms of the music that we've been listening to. If you would have told me this time last year that we're listening to bands, we're listening to all this indie stuff, all this like soft rock, or in whatever we listen to, bro. If you would have said that we listen to that stuff, I would be thinking no chance, because what are we doing here? But we generally listen to that. I was listening to an artist called Keo, or a band, got put onto their music, Keo, right? And they have an EP, and I was listening to it for the first time, bro, and I was thinking, these guys are fire, and they have one song on there called Dawn. Round of applause to that song right there, bro, because that song is so fire. You know it's good when you can just like play that in whatever occasion, or when you can think of additional like layers to a song. Like it's just a really good song, bro. And I was thinking, yeah, these guys are gonna be something, because what they've got is fire. They need to release more music, because whatever they are doing musically, they're doing something right. For someone like me who mainly listens to like R&B and rap, bro, they cooked. Like they actually cooked. That is like, yeah, you gotta release more music. And I know that they have a couple more songs on their SoundCloud and YouTube, but they've got to release more songs. That's one thing I appreciate about tapping into different bands and just listening to different things, because you never know what you're gonna like, and we can all take inspiration from different artists that we don't listen to, and actually appreciate their music, because it's their craft that they put into you, and they put that into life, and it sounds perfect to me anyway. But yeah, of course not everyone will like it, and music is subjective, but that's what makes it amazing. You know, not everyone will like it, but if you like it, then that's sick. Another artist that we listened to was Bashed, something like that. We got told to listen to their music, and their music is actually fire. And one thing about their music that I like is they just have EPs, bro. They have EPs, right? And there's one song called Wild Horse or something, and it's just melodic, chill, good drums, good guitar. Like everything about that song is just fire. Like we're really at that stage now. We're at that stage where we're really tapping into bands. We've tapped into so many bands that now we're listening to the underrated ones. It's not the mainstream ones, and that's what makes it sick, bro. That's what makes it sick. That it's not always this like mainstream music. There's actually different styles and there's different artists to tap into. This is another random topic to talk about, but as you can see, we've got an afro. The start of the year, February, I don't remember the date exactly, but we cut our hair from having long hair that reached to our chin. We cut it because we just wanted to restart, and as well, our hair was low key like damaged, so we needed to restart that shit. So we did that, and it's November, and our hair has grown. Of course, we haven't got cornrows for us to actually let it grow, but it's been growing to the point that we actually have a decent afro-sized head. However, while it's been a year of us having short hair, I've noticed that quite a lot of people have been cutting their hair. A lot of people have been cutting their hair this year. And I understand it because, bro, it's a new era. You feel smarter. I do feel like we all can pull off long hair. It doesn't really matter. We can make it look smart. There's something about having short hair that just does something. It unlocks something that's like, yeah, this is us. You know what it is? It's like letting go of that fear, not letting that fear get to you, because of course having your hair that is you, that's your personality, bro. And if it looks really good, why change it? So having that fear of like, oh, how we're gonna look like, we may not even get any bitches, like things like that. It really does make you feel like that, like we may not be attractive no more. But honestly, it's the best thing to do. It really is the best thing to do, to like cut your hair, to just challenge yourself and just restart. However, if you don't have a good head shape, I understand for you to have longer hair. Me personally, I didn't go down because my head shape is it sure is something, to the point that I'm not gonna let that I'm not gonna let that be my mockery. I mean, if you can, you can, and it like it's cool. But yeah, we're not going to get a grade 0.5 head all around, bro. We're not doing that. If we did that, wow, that would not have been a good look. That would not have been good. Cutting your hair is like, well, to me anyway, that was the best thing I've ever done. One of the best things. And then I started seeing a lot of people doing it, and I was like, okay, this is random. It was yesterday. I was actually shampooing my hair. I was thinking, all right, we've seen a lot of people cutting their hair. It may be time for us to grow it and get cornrows back. I don't want to be doing things that everyone's doing. You know what I mean? Like, what? We might as well just get cornrows back. That was our signature, so we may as well grow it back. And honestly, we may have to. We actually may have to. Lil Carter's on tour, and he's doing his show in Birmingham this week on Friday, and we may be there. Shout out to my broski for hooking us up with the tickets. If we were going to be there regardless. However, we cannot miss out on see Lil Carter. He's been in our heavy rotation this week. Well, this year. He's been in our heavy rotation this year. And that's low-key all I'll be listening to. I'm still listening to his album, hopefully. And I do feel like that's his best project. But we're going to have to tap into his tour, and we're going to have to see him. And honestly, you know what I feel like doing? I feel like wearing a t-shirt that says something like play, what's that song called? To play A Latin Place. That's my favorite song by him. And A Latin Place is just something. It's out of this world, bro. Like, it's out of this world. It's heavenly. And hearing that for the first time, I remember exactly where I was. I was driving to work when I used to work. I used to work at Timberland, and I used to park at the Selfridges car park. You know me, Selfridges car park. That's what we're doing now. But yeah, I used to park there, and while I was driving, I was like, you know what? Let's listen to Lil Carter's album, because it's a short album, and by the time we get there, it will be our time. Like, by the time we get there, we would have finished listening to the album. So cool, listen to the album, and I wasn't really keen on every single song. I actually wasn't. At the time that the album released, I was only a fan of A Latin Place. Everything else I wasn't really a fan of. But now, fast forward that we've actually, allowed time to do its thing, and we've actually taking in more of his music. I like more songs, for example, Speed of Flight, Homerton, Polyfiller. I think that's how I say it. Yeah, Polyfiller. I think that's how I say it. But yeah, Polyfiller is a top tier song. But A Lasting Place is just, that is just a song that I just can't not like. I'm not, as the song Hate, the intro is a cool song, but I don't think it's better than majority of the songs on this album. Like, bro, it's just, there's just something different about Homerton or A Lasting Place. Like, you just like fire. And shout out to Olivia Dean being on that one, even though she only did the chorus. Like, she only had like a bit of a vocal on that song, but she deserved more of a chance on that song. So you can low-key say I was low-key tapped into Olivia Dean. Facts. That's actually true. That is very true. Hey, I'm saying that forever. The first time we heard Olivia Dean's voice was, or her music, well, we heard an appearance of her was 2022. 2022 seems like it's ages away. But anyway, yeah, we need to see Lil Kana. I mean, we are seeing him, and we are going to, I don't know, we're going to find a way so he notices us. Well, that's if we're standing. If we're not, if we're sitting, hey, I'll just shout something, and if he sees us, then we're lit. Yeah, facts. We need to get something going this week. But anywho, whoever's going to be there, let's get it cracking. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, because this is something that I love to do, and it's a passion of mine. Every day, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you. Some parts of this podcast can be a bit random, and that's okay. You know, sometimes randomness is good. And I know I'm not the best with like the structuring and layering. I know I can be all over the place, all the time. Low key, this is not really anything for anyone, but it's just, if I enjoy it, if it's something that I can look back on, if it's something that I would watch, then why not get it out there? I have moments where like I deep things a lot, or I get in my mind a bit too much, and it gets in the way of the actual end result or just how I feel. And it's kind of sad, but it's just the way I think, and it's kind of bad. I know it's kind of bad, but yeah, it's just something that's just happening quite recently, and especially while on this creative process or making TikToks, and I've been kind of not against making TikToks, but I've been on a fence on it because it's very short term, short process. How can we continue to get into something to do something different? I don't know, but just to do something different, because there's always something else. There's this thing that like you can never settle for less. I was on a walk earlier, and I was having this thought that, you know, I choose not to settle for less, because we should never settle for less, bro. Life is so short, and I hope that you never take anything for granted or see yourself as low as it is, because you are that guy or girl, and there's nothing that's going to stop you on this journey. You know, there's so many things that we're so exposed to, and honestly, all I can just say is just keep going. We're exposed to so many things, and recently as well, I've just been not wanting to be on social media, like scrolling on my phone. And of course, I'll say that, and then I'll probably just end up scrolling on my phone anyway. But it's to the point that it's like, for the paces that you want to go in life, sometimes just looking on social media or just doing those things, it don't get you anywhere. For example, look at the people that you look up to. They're not all sucked into their phones, bro. There's always something that's bigger than them that they're chasing. And I've been reading this book called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. He's the owner of Nike, the founder of Nike, or Nike. Broski started making moves for his shoe at the age of 24. It was only until he was 30 that Nike actually started. And it makes you realize that not everything has to happen straight away. Things actually take time. And of course, there's always going to be something, regardless. There's always going to be something. But things just take time. And that's something that I find difficult to accept at times, because I can be impatient. What if you just want that thing now? What if you just want that thing now? What if you just want all of it to happen now? Because why not? Feelings can get so intense. Emotions can get so heavy that, like, why not have it now? We have a family to feed. We have a roof over our head. We have our parents that have gone through hell and back just to see us doing something, just so that we can have a better life. And there's no way we're not going to do anything about that to say thank you. And I'd be damned to waste my day or to do something that's not gonna better the family or myself, even if it's just a small factor, because that one thing that you better yourself in is gonna help your children if you want to have children, if when that time actually happens, and for the person that you end up spending your life with. And it's very important to just have that little step back. And this is something that I need to hear, because some days can get really difficult, and it's just life, man. It really is just life, and we just gotta keep going because it's not promised. Speaking of, it's not promised. One of my mom's colleagues passed away, right? And he was having problems with just his weight overall, and he wasn't really listening to people saying, like, come on now, you gotta get yourself in check. And the next day, he didn't turn up to work because he passed out in his sleep, and it really makes you realize that your last day could literally be today. Make the most out of it. Do what you can do. Seize the day because it's not promised. Earn your respect because people will do the most. Not even do the most, but people love to underestimate people. And even I can do that. Everyone loves to underestimate others, and all that matters is just getting it done. It really isn't about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I'm getting all these quotes here from I was watching this film. I forgot what it's called, but I was watching this film of LeBron's start up in his career, Shooting Stars. Yeah, yeah. It's a film called Shooting Stars on Netflix, right? It's about LeBron's youth when he started. And the one thing that's good about that film is the way that they shot it, and as well as the way that they've gone about the stories, and just to motivate people with the little quotes. And the quotes was, it's not about how you start, earn your respect, and seize the day, because those things are actually important. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And realistically, you just have to keep going. All the starting shit, cool, but what matters is actually just getting it done. It's about how you finish that work. It's about your intention, and it's about your heart posture. As long as you keep going, bro, everything will be sweet. Everything will be sweet. Also, one thing, this is actually going to get very deep on this podcast. It's that season in my life, yeah, that I'm just like thinking, damn, this may be a bit too deep. Like, this is the topic about love, right? This is about love, and it's really, I'll be thinking, when will that time appear? When will I settle down? When will we settle down? When will that time occur when there's that one person? When will it happen? And it's actually something that I don't know if it's just me, but we all think about love or that person that we spend our time with. Of course, there's like probably people there, but they're probably not the person that you want to spend your time with, or you may not even know because you're not trying. And that's something that I do wrong as well. Like, we don't give enough people enough time or give them the love, which is actually kind of sad. Like, for someone who thinks so much about love, you're not really giving enough love to others. No wonder things go left, and that's my fault. That's my problem as well. The idea of love, or just with like relationships, friends, family, it's very different for different people. And honestly, the idea of love, or just having that one companionship with someone, is the best thing in the world. It really is. It's the sweetest thing to actually have. There's nothing that can break it. Love is very solid, even when things are challenging, even when things are going left. Having that one love for someone or for something really keeps things together. And it is something that I think about, that when will there be that person? When will there be that time? Because it can get lonely. It actually can get lonely sometimes, but you just got to keep going, keep your head up, and just keep going no matter what. Because realistically, it will come. it will come, and just have to live. The best thing to do is not to, well, for me anyway, and this is one thing that I try to say, but I don't know if it's working or not, to not like force it or to not think it too much, just let it happen. We're growing, we're getting older, we're learning, and there's a lot of things that we're living in. There's so much chaos, especially in our 20s, but of course it's only going to get crazier as we get older. So hey, why not just, when would that person come through? You know what I mean? Like, real, when would that person come through? Because there's also that period, where I'm that guy in that friendship group that all my guys are in relationships. You know, all my guys are in a relationship. One of them is about to get in a relationship. Well, yeah, all my guys are in relationships, bro. And I'm just like the one guy that's just, that's just there. That's just there. That's like, not struggling, but like, just attention span, or just not as eager to be in a relationship, or just there'll be people there, but it's like when it gets to that, it's like meh. Like, you know what I mean? It's very, very, very weird that it's like, what's actually wrong? What's what's actually happening here? Like, like I'm very ambitious, right? And it can come to the point that I don't know if I even have time for love, which is very which is very sad. But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it's something that I think about quite a lot. That's just kind of sad, but yeah, man, that'd be on my mind. Love. When will that person occur, man? When will that person actually just? When will that person come through? But it also is that thing that sacrifice, I guess. I don't really go out a lot. I'm always either at work or creating content or just doing something work-wise. Friends, I don't really see my friends that much. We're all on our separate paths. Family, I'm with my mum quite often. It's always important to make time with your family. My niece is growing older. Broski's walking now, and haven't really seen him since September. So like, family is important, but it's a sacrifice, and it is kind of sad. But things like seeing your family or seeing your friends, it's very important, because without them, bro, we can't do anything alone. Like, without them, our life is meaningless. Everything is vanity, and friends and family really goes a long way. And that's one thing we have to keep in check. Seeing your loved ones and seeing your family, because if you don't, then everything is all shit. Damn, this podcast is a wake-up call, and this is a deep podcast. I wasn't expecting it to be this deep, but yeah, that's just been on my mind quite recently, man. Like, I'm just on this goal of just like, yeah, let's just get it creatively. Let's get it. We've got to do it. We've got to, because we have to. There's someone out there that's just got that hunger inside them, and we've achieved so much this year that I don't want to lose it. If we lose it, cool. There's always going to be something better in the long run. But we work so hard that even if we're going through a good run, we've got to keep going, because if we ease off, if we take off the gas, someone will take over. And for the things that we want, or the things that we appreciate, the things that we love, we can't do that. We can't slow down. And I know that may not be the best mentally, or that may not be the best period, but for this life, bro, is complacency, or just taking things to, like, being too comfortable. It's not going to take you far at all. And from what I've been reading, for what I've been learning as well, like, we have to keep going. And what I've been reading from Shoe Dog is like, we've got to fail fast. And even if that means like, do things quick, if that means that you fail, you will learn what to do next, and it may be the best thing. Like, treading with your tiptoes, sometimes it doesn't really do the best. It's either we've got to be all in, or just not even bother. And I can't lie, I took the risk to go all in with just creating content. It's going very weirdly. It's going weird. It's going weird, but it's like, damn, what's happening? But at the same time, it's just that patience. Like, as a content creator, you get so many emails from opportunities that just flop, that just don't even happen. And I would I'd love to say it doesn't affect me no more, but it does. Like, it does. It really does. Because it's like, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, what's with this false hope? I'd rather just not get that email. But however, if you got that email or that chance, then surely that you're being idle, like you're being seen. Just another insight on everything that's going on. Fitness update. My knee is doing something wrong. Like, I may need to get new running shoes or have a like body scan or something. You know, I did sports therapy, but it's been a while since I've been tapped into that. So I may have my boy to check it for me because it's playing up. Like, but it's very weird. Like, we're still running, but I still feel it. Honestly. Yeah, man, that's weird. But we're still getting there physically. Been working out with my boy Jake at the gym. It's the best that I'll be feeling physically in a while. Work out with your friends. Don't keep doing things on your own because working out with people, it's sick. Songs of the week or albums of the week that I've just been listening to quite recently. Been listening to Son of Spurgey by Daniel Caesar. I really love that album. Especially songs like Who Knows, Emily's Song. Emily's Song is a slow burner that I appreciate more. My favourite song is still Sins of the Father. Rain Down, that is such a top tier intro. Have a Baby With Me and Call on Me. Roots of All Evil and Touching God as well, top tier song. There was one day where it was just raining heavy and I was just listening to the album and it just made sense because you can also hear the rain in the background and it's just perfect. It really is just perfect. Like, it just makes sense. But yeah, shout out to Daniel Caesar because Son of Spurgey is fire. And I've been listening to The Boy Who Played the Harp. And my favourite song on the album is still My 27th Birthday. There's just something deep about that song to me that I know it's like may not be the most played that everyone will listen to, but I still love that one. That all you need to listen to is that song. It literally makes sense of the whole album. But you're listening to We Still Don't Trust You, Chromacopia, which is weird because I haven't really been listening to the album that much this year, but then there's just that one moment that I was just listening to the album. For example, songs like Ratata, Chromia, Paranoid, Sticky, such a good song. I really like Hey Jane, that one's a good one, and Darling I. Was listening to Solfego's new song, Money and Clothes. That song is actually fire. And then What's Up by Dom Corello. Every Friday when new music comes out, I love listening to new songs. And yeah, every Friday there's always something new. Summer Walker's album dropped, and honestly, I can't listen to her like I used to no more. Her music is good, but I just can't listen to her like that no more, man. Like, yeah. The first part of that album is better than the second part, but yeah, I just don't think I can listen to Summer Walker like that no more. I can't, bro. I can't. And as well, still be listening to McGee, and I was listening to Keo, but those are just the music that I've been listening to quite recently, and they don't miss, not at all. That may wrap up the episode of the Perspective Podcast 44. Perspective, we have our clothing coming out very, very soon, and if it's not this week, it is next week. Save the date, 28th of November. We are going to be dropping our Perspective tees, so make sure you tap into that. Yeah, make sure. I'll be going all over Instagram, TikTok, every social media platform to promote this every single day because this is our baby. This is a lot of money that we spent. So yeah, that's what we're going to get going, and hope you guys will do well. Thank you for tapping into the episode. I know this was probably a deep episode, but hey, those episodes are needed, man. But yeah, thank you for tapping in, and I'll see you guys later.